This is a thickness planer. We have one over here, and we have one over here. The difference of these are how wide the table is. This one right here is a 20-inch. Over here is a 15-inch. So the board here can be 20 inches wide. Over there can only be 15 inches wide. This is the throat of the machine. And what we can do is we can raise and lower the table. So I could bring this all the way down and I could plane a board if it was 8-10 inches thick. You must go through the joiner first. So what we want to have is one clean surface before going through here. The joiner and the planer are cousins. The board must be 12 inches in length. You can't see it, but there's a roller up here, in feed, and an out feed. And if the board is not long enough, it will get caught in here. And the cutter heads on the planer are on top, where the joiner, they're underneath. General safety. Eye safety is a must. Keep the area free of scraps. Nothing should be on the in-feed table or the out-feed table. On this machine here, we never want to look in the throat of the machine. That's a no-no. I look at it this way. Board's going in there and it gets stuck. I want to go see what's wrong. I'm out on the shooting range with my gun and I pull the trigger and nothing happens. I don't go look at the barrel, all right? No, do not stick your head down here. What we want to do is we'll relieve pressure, bringing the wheel towards us, and turn the machine off. If you need help with long boards, have somebody assist you. The thickness planer is used to take wood from one thickness to another thickness. For an example, if the board is 7/8 and I want to take it down to 5/8, I would set it for what the thickness of the wood is, not to what you want to go down to. So we set it for the thickest part, and then we do a half a turn, put it through, and then we do a half a turn, and so on until we get it down to the thickness that we want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the thickness of the wood, 7/8. Then what I'm going to come over here and I am going to set it for the thickness of the wood, not to what you want to go down to. And now what I am going to do is do a half a turn. So if we look at the hand wheel, what I want to do a half a turn would be almost below it. And if you see here, this up, we'll have another one up. So that's raising the table up. If you get stuck, all you have to do is pull it towards you and that will drop it down. So again, I will raise it to the thickness and then I'll do a half a turn. It's always important not only to protect your eyes, but also your ears. All right? This is, oh, I'm not talking. So I can still hear myself, I can still hear the machines, but the high-pitched noise. We keep these right over here. All right? There's other sets over on the wall. All right? And the ones that I was using for the joiner, all right, are inside here, and they're over by the lumber room. Just like all the other machines, what we want to make sure is outside the dust collection system's on, and what we want to do is turn it on here. If you are getting lots of little particles of wood on the in-feed or the out-feed table, that means the dust collection system's not working. Turn the machine off and let me know. So what we've done is we've measured the thickness, we've set the planer, and we're ready to go. Green button up here, pull this out, turn it on. We want to stop, just hit it. So again, pull it out, green button's on. Wait until it comes up to speed. What we want to do is place the board on the in-feed table, slide it in, let it grab it. It pulls it and pulls it out. What you want to make sure is that your hands are not on top of the wood going in. It will grab it and pull it in. Again, no loose clothes, no long jewelry, hair pulled back. What we want to do is then do another half turn. So we have this board and we would need to take it down to a set thickness. That's what this machine does. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, I turn it on, I went through. This is one of the only machines you can adjust while it's on. So I put it through, go over and get it, come back, half a turn, through, half a turn, now, you notice I'm putting the wood through, I have to come over and grab it. Again, this is a nice machine to have somebody help you with. So I put it here, they can actually pass it back. If you need to do more than one piece, what you want to do is have all the pieces here. Again, we never leave a machine when it's running. So I don't want to go, oh, I need to go over and get them. So here I have 4 boards. I want to plane them down all the same. What I want to notice here is sometimes wood will have a piece of metal in it. No metal, no glue. Again, this machine and the joiner are cousins. Solid wood only, no plywood, no particle board. So what I'm going to do is pull this out. Now, safety. Remember, no loose stuff. I've just noticed that my shoelace is untied. I'm going to make sure that it's tied. Also, no open-toed shoes in here. We'd hate to see a piece of wood or tool drop on you. So again, board needs to be 12 inches. Let's see if we can pass this through. Oh, look at that. It's a little short. That's a no-no. So we're not going to put this through. Make sure that you think through your process. I have a lot of students, what they do is they have an 8-inch board and they say, I need to take it down a 1/4 inch. Old-fashioned way, hand plane it. All right, before you cut them up, you want to do your thickness planing first. So these boards right here, I would go, oh no, you can't do it. So they should have thought this out and had 2 pieces together, planed it down, and then cut it. So if I was passing a piece through, and let's just say I had 8 pieces, 10 pieces, 20 pieces. Sometimes you'll have a whole bunch of stacked here. What I like to do, just like the joiner, is I'm going to draw on them. When you draw on the board, you're going to notice, all right, that if we look at this board, it's slightly tapered. We've just come off of the joiner nice and clean. So now what we're going to do is get parallel edge all the way through. So I've drawn my lines on it. Again, check the thickness, the thickest part. I set it for that thickness. And then a half a turn. If the board gets stuck, just loosen the pressure. I'm going to go one more time. Half a turn. now what I have is that taper is gone. So what I want to do is if I have 8, 10, 20 boards, put 1, 2, 3, they all go through, bring them back. This is great. Put them right up here. Have a stack. Have a friend help you so you're not going back and forth. If you need to, you got to come over here, grab them, put them, come back over here. All right, again, don't leave this machine when it's running. Planer's going, joiner's going, table saw's going. It's very hard to know if the machine is on or off, especially some of the other ones. So keep all your lumber over here. All right, let's do a little review. We want to make sure that the dust collection system is on, that the ground is clear of any scraps. We have our eye safety on, no loose baggy clothes. Have some ear protection on. This is one of the loudest machines in here. We want to measure the thickest part, set it for that, half a turn. Put the board through, go over and get it. If you have multiple boards, I would not want to plane this down to a ½ inch. Then go and set this board and plane that down to a ½ inch and then another board. Once I make the turn, pass all your boards through. Then do one half turn, pass all your boards through. Save time, think the process out. If you have many boards that you're doing, instead of going one in at a time, as long as 2 can fit or 3 can fit, depending on how wide the boards are, put them both through. So here I am, I'm by myself, so I go on, I have board 1, board 2, come over and get them. My half turn, board 1, board 2, if I needed to, I could go 3 or 4, come over and get them. Boards up on top, come back. My half a turn. All right. Some of the things on this. Now, this is the one machine that we do adjustments when it's running, and it's a half a turn, okay? Never look into the throat of the machine when it's running. Again, keep free of scraps. Board's got to be at least 12 inches in length. We can only take it to a 1/4 inch in thickness. If we want to go below that, what we do is called a backer board. I will show that to you on another time. And all it is, it's taking a board that will have sandpaper on it and it will make it thicker. The machine has no idea that it's thicker. It's just the pressure could snap those boards and you don't want them to explode in there. Again, we go with the grain. We never go against the grain. All right? You might have a board that's 12 by 12. All right? If you went through against the grain, remember, straws. It would shred the straws. We want to go with the straws, nice and clean. Eye protection, ear protection, tight clothes, not baggy clothes, hair pulled back. When using the planer, never plane loose knots. So I can check and that knot is good, so I can plane that. Here's a board that we planed and we had to pop the knots out because they would vibrate in there, and in there they'll shatter. So if you have loose knots, you need to remove them. This one wasn't loose, so we could plane that down. I want to show you something. If your board has something that looks like this, So I'm going this way, but there's a little tiny mound. That means someone went through with a piece of metal or glue and it's chipped the knives. When one knife is dull, we replace them all. We can't see these, but they're just like its cousin, the joiner. It's a cylinder with a knife on it or different teeth. So when one's dull, we change them all. Never use a dull blade in here. So if you're seeing that on your wood, let me know, because we'll want to change out the blades. Never have your hand on top of the stock as it's going through the rollers, all right? You can't go from the out feed to the in feed, so don't try that. And I look forward to watching you demo this machine to me.